Tax credits?
Yes.
Sure.
Tax credits.
Darryl talked a little bit about this earlier as well. In Georgia, as in a number of states, there is a law that says if you make a film in Georgia and you spend the money here in Georgia, the state will recognize a tax credit as a percentage of the production. So in Georgia, the tax credit has a base of 20%. And what that means is that if you have a film, let's say you have $1 million budget on a film, if you spend the money in Georgia and you abide by certain rules, you can get 20% tax credit, which is worth $200,000. And then if you're willing to put a logo on the end of the film, which essentially is an animated peach that says "Visit Georgia," you can get another 10%, so that's upwards of 30%. If you happen to be somebody who has a lot of income in Georgia and is making a lot of money, you can simply use those tax credits for your tax liability, and it's like instead of paying the government money, you use the tax credits on a dollar for dollar basis. So for $1 million, for instance, it's $300,000, or the company could. If it's a film company, for instance, Rainforest could do that for its company, could use it for its payroll taxes and its income taxes, state income tax. Many folks find themselves in the position, whether because they don't need them or because they've come in from out of state. So this is Hollywood productions, for instance, may come in from out of state, and they can build up a tax credit, and they find they don't need to use them. So guess what? The law allows them to sell the tax credit, and there are brokers who we work with who will buy those tax credits. Typically, the range is anywhere from the high 70s to the mid 80s in terms of the discount. So for instance, a $200,000 tax credit, a $300,000 tax credit on a $1 million production probably would be worth, let's say, $240,000 sale, and that's a check that you can get in your hand. Beyond that, there are some brokers who will actually pre-buy the tax credits. So if you're like many filmmakers who manage to get most of their financing together but still have a gap, some of the brokers will basically fill the gap by basically pre-financing the tax credits under a legal agreement, which is fairly, I'll say fairly complicated, only in the sense that they want to be very protected because they're loaning you the money to make that portion of the film, and they need certain protections. But basically, it's a great thing, and it has brought a lot of production here to Georgia.
Next question.